So today I'm going to show you how to get some water when you're out in the bush. Now please bear in mind you are going to need a couple of things, a couple of small things like a plastic bag or something similar. General clear plastic is the best for it, and you are going to need something where you can catch your water in. So let's go check it out. So for this I've got a couple of things. I've got a piece of clear plastic. It's not very large, it's only a couple of feet long and a couple of feet wide. I have got it in a sandwich bag to protect it. I have my drinking cup to catch my water in. I also have my small little shovel, gonna need that, and I have got about 7 feet of paracord. Okay, so I've picked out an area that's in the sun. I'm going to dig out a nice small area, roughly about this big. So it does need to be roughly about a foot in depth, give or take. So I'll just dig this out and I'll get back to you shortly. Okay, so there's the hole that I've dug. Now the next thing that you want to do is you want to get some greenery, and you want to place some greenery from the bush in the hole, like so. Now the leaves do need to be green. This will not work if they are dead. They have to be nice and green, like so. Okay. Now the more you put in, the more effective this will be. Now I want to take my cup. I want to place my cup in the center of the hole, like so. Now I want to take my plastic bag. I want to unfold my plastic. As you can see, it's not a very large piece. And I want to place that over the hole, like so. And take the sand that I have here and coat the edges. You want to try and make this as tight as you can. The tighter the better. As you can see, nice and tight, like so. Try and get all areas, like so. Now you do want to set this up quite a bit earlier than your day. Now we've got that set up, now I need to put a rock or something similar in the center. So I'm just going to put a little bit of my sand right in the center, directly above my cup. And as you can see, the sand will hold the plastic in place, and the vegetation that is in there is going to create condensation, and that in turn is going to hit the plastic, run down the plastic, hit the furthest point and drip into my cup. So we'll check into this in a little while. So while that's generating water for me, I've also got this water, and as you can see, it's absolutely filthy. I have got a separate spare container, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter this water into this container. Now I have here a piece of rope which I have wet. I'm going to place this piece of rope into the dirty water, like so. I'm then going to have the end of the rope sitting out of the water, and this container and the end of the rope need to be lower than the water level in this water. Now this does take some time. As you can see, it's already starting to soak the rope's already starting to soak the water up. It does take a lot of time, but bearing in mind some level of cleanliness in the water that you are consuming is better than none. Filtering water is never a rapid process, but the last thing that you want to do is waste any of it. So there's a quick little trick for you for cleaning or somewhat filtering water. It is also advisable to boil water whenever you're drinking it from a foreign body and you don't know where it's come from. If it's just puddles and stuff like that, or you find a small stream or a lake or a creek out in the bush, yeah, fine, it might look clean, but they can still hold some level of bacteria. So you do need to check it, and you do need to boil it to keep yourself safe. The last thing that you need when you're out in the bush is getting sick. Now there is another trick you can get with water straight off a tree. And that's again using your plastic. I've got some leftover plastic from the hole that I dug earlier. And what you want to do is you want to wrap a nice piece of plastic around the tree. Just like this. Just like that. Now this does have to be in a sunny area. You then take some cordage. In this particular case I have some paracord, and you want to tie the end. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it just needs to be tied, and you want to tie the opposite end as well. Now in the middle of this, I'm going to have a piece of the plastic hanging down like so, and that is for the purpose of catching the water. Now again, this will need to be in direct sunlight, and it may take a while, but it will start condensating and it will gather at the bottom. Okay, so heading up into our plastic, it's been about 45 minutes now, the sun's still on it. I'm not 100% if you can actually see that, but there is water starting to gather just here in the bottom, and that's exactly what you want. Now if I leave that for a couple more hours or until sunset, that's going to be perfect water wise. Okay, so check on our water here. We have plenty of condensation. As you can see, there's a lot of condensation on there. It has been a few hours, so let's just really carefully pull some of this sand back, because we can reuse this. Obviously you can use it many times. You can refill the vegetation in it many times. Just pull my cup out, and as you can see, I have some water. Now that's a great trick in the bush when you run out of water. The most effort that you're going to put in is digging the hole and collecting vegetation to put in there. So if you are going to do this, you want to try and find a hole that's already existing, that's been made by an animal or something, or you want to take your time, or the other option is you dig your hole out and completely prep this just before sunrise, and then you let it sit over the course of the whole day. But you do this quite a few times, you will get some water, and it's critical to have water out in the West Australian bush. So that's just a quick way of how to gather water when you're in the bush. And obviously you've got the alternative method that I showed you with the tree, and a quick tip on water filtration. When you're out in the bush, regardless of how long you're going to be, you need to make sure that you've got ample water for survival. The general rule of thumb, the quick rule of thumb in Western Australia is whatever your height is in feet, you round it up. So for example, if somebody was 5'9", they'd round it up to 6 feet, and 6 is the magic number. That's the amount of litres that you will require per day in the harsh heat in Western Australia. I'm 6'2", I will need to have roughly about between 6.5 and 7 litres of water per day to keep yourself hydrated. And always remember that if you're feeling thirsty or your mouth is starting to get dry, then you are already dehydrating. Stay safe, take ample water with you.